Hi everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 21 in the 2023 Countdown to Christmas series, and the technique for today was to create a card using non-traditional Christmas colors. So we're going to start off by doing some stenciling. I have these ones from Lawn Fawn. It's called Poinsettia Background, and it's a set of 3 layering stencils. So I'm going to break out my Altenew stamp wheel to go ahead and ink up these stencils. I laid the first one down onto a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch white cardstock. And if you notice, I have some washi tape in the top left and then on the bottom right. This is so it's easy to line up my stencils when I do layering ones. I just put the top left corner on the washi tape and then the bottom right corner on the washi tape, and it makes it so much easier to line things up. So for the first stencil, we are going to be using some Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide, and this is the base of the flowers as well as some of the small dots and stars around them. The second stencil, we are going to be doing 2 colors of Distress Oxide. For the middles of the poinsettias, I'm going to be using Uncharted Mariner, and then for all the leaves, I'm going to go ahead and do Peacock Feathers. The third stencil is the dots on some of the branches that are on there and then the veins in the leaves. So while you're watching me ink this up, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about this series. So Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations has joined me this year in doing 25 days of Christmas projects. We've picked themes, techniques, stamp sets, etc., and put them into a randomizer, came up with 25 days of our techniques or whatever we were going to do, and then she and I create projects and link to each other's channels. We have intro videos. Mine will be linked below. Marie's channel will be linked below. Make sure that you guys check them out if you haven't already, because there are giveaways. I have reached a milestone of 700. Marie has reached a milestone of 800. So we're giving away some extra prizes. So make sure you check everything out so you know when to enter. We will announce the dates for the closing of the giveaway soon, and then when we're going to announce the actual winners. So stay tuned for all of that. You guys will have a little bit of time after the series ends, but not much. So hopefully you guys have watched the series and done everything you need to do so that you could be entered to win. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. She and I are having a great time doing it. We're actually talking about doing something in 2024, so stay tuned for that. Oh, and we really do appreciate you watching and commenting and subscribing to our channels, because we are working to actively grow our channels and bring everybody, all of our ideas. She and I have different crafting styles, so you're going to be able to see the same theme or technique or stamp set used 2 different ways. So hopefully you guys join us for the entire series. All right, so let's get back to the card. We are using some Honeybee Lovely Layer Candy Cane dies, and I'm going to be using the same colors to go ahead and do the candy cane, the sprigs, as well as the bow. So I decided to use the 2 darker colors. This one is the Picked Raspberry as well as the Uncharted Mariner. And I apologize, I used Picked Raspberry to do the last layer of the stencils. I think I forgot to say that. So I broke out the Altenew stamp wheel again because you can see, look at how easily it holds that paper there instead of trying to hold it. Whenever I do that and use little pieces, the paper always seems to crease up or something like that. This made it so easy. I didn't have to even touch it. And then I don't have to worry about getting ink on my hands. So I am doing the Picked Raspberry and then the Uncharted Mariner for 2 of the 3 layers of the candy cane. The 3rd layer will be the plain white. And then I'm doing the Kitsch Flamingo for the bow, and I will go back and do a second one for these sprigs. I wanted one on either side, and that is in Peacock Feathers. So once I do that, I run them through my die cut machine and cut out all of the layers. We're going to get ready to assemble all of the candy cane. And it was fairly easy to go together, but I misaligned it, and I had to cut that part out because I was trying to figure out how to put it all back together, and it just really wasn't working. One of the things that I love about Honeybee Stamps is that they include these layering guides that you see off to the right. It makes it so easy to figure out how it's going to look when it's assembled. It also gives you some coloring ideas, so you can go ahead and use what they suggest or do your own. So I love that they include these because it makes things a lot easier and easier for you to visualize what the entire project is going to look like. So once I've assembled the candy cane, we are going to get started working on the bow. So I'm just adding a little glue dot or a little dot of glue to the bow. And then there's a teeny tiny little piece that either looks like it can go up and down or sideways. And I thought it looked better sideways. So the bow is using Kitsch Flamingo, and then the inside is using the picked raspberry. So now I'm just trying to figure out how everything is going to go together. And I like the way I had the sprigs laid out. And for some reason, when I glued this one down, I glued it down to the right instead of a little bit up more to the, instead of up, I glued it down. And I didn't love the placement of it, but I didn't realize until I had glued everything down. And after that, I did that background and everything, I was not going to try to go ahead and pull these up because this paper is thinner and it probably would have pulled back up. So I just went with it, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and pop up the candy cane on foam. I'm actually using 2 layers of the 3M foam. I love this stuff. I have that big mama roll that you see a lot of creators have. I've had it for probably a year now, and I'm nowhere near halfway done it, and I've done a bunch of shaker cards and stuff, and I love to use dimension. So the trick when doing an object that is not a straight line is to take the backing off of both sides, because it makes it pliable and it makes it really easy to go around the corner. So if you're doing a shaker card that's a circle, take the back off of both sides of it, and it makes it so much easier. So now I'm going to go ahead and place that down on my card, and I'm going to use that same Barely Arts glue that I used for the center of the bow to go ahead and attach it to the candy cane. And the next thing that we're going to do is add some white gel pen. I wanted to add a little bit of a shine to the candy cane. We're going to do actually a couple of things for this. So I went around the whole thing with the white Jelly Roll pen. And I don't know, do you guys have the same problem? Mine feels like it skips and it doesn't come out right. I don't know. I even tried the Signo Uniball one. I think that's what it's called. And even that skips on me. So I try to, put it on my finger before I use it, but I don't know. Let me know if you have a better suggestion in the comments. I did get a Posca pen, but I got one that's a little bit too thick for this, I believe. So I went and used some Lawn Fawn, I think they're just called something sparkle dust or something like that, over the center of the bow. So it'll give it some sparkle, but some dimension. And then I'm using my, I think this is it's a sparkle, Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, that's what it is. I went over all of the pink areas, and it wasn't really putting a lot of shine down. So then I squeezed a little bit more sparkle, and all of a sudden when I got to the blue, there was a lot of sparkle on it. So I did go back, wipe it off on the desk, and then do the pink again, as well as going in with those little dots or the berries on those branches. So I'm going back in and adding some to the pink, and then we're going to get ready to do the card base. So this is a top folding card, and it's going to be a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. So it's 4 1/4 by 11. I scored it at 5.5. And since I want it to match the colors that we've already done perfectly, I'm going to do a trick that I learned from some other crafters and create my own card base, or card base color. So I'm actually doing it on the card base. A lot of times I'll do it on another layer, but there's only, I think, like 1/8 of an inch on all sides for the border, and I didn't really want to waste a piece of cardstock for that. So I just went straight onto the card base with that Uncharted Mariner. I'm going to go around the 3 edges, and since the card didn't fold perfectly, I took a scrap piece of cardstock and just put that inside so that none of the color would get onto the inside of the card, going around the 3 sides, and then I'm going to take that off and then use the scrap piece of paper behind the card base so that I don't get anything onto the back either. Go around all 3 edges, and then I'm going to place the card front on top of it. Make sure that it looks okay. And I'm really happy with the way it looks. You can put a lot of color on to try to make it solid. And that's what I did here because I wanted it to look like it was a piece of cardstock, not that we went ahead and created the color. I'm using that same Bearly Arts glue to go ahead and attach the card panel to the card base. And that is the card for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this non-traditional Christmas card where we created our own color background to match the colors that we used. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. Make sure you check out Marie's video, and I'll see you again real soon for another video. Bye!